As the name implies, we do this every single week. Um, the time we do this is 8:30 Mountain Daylight, or Standard, as the case may be, and that is 7:30 if you live on the Pacific Coast, 10:30 if you're on the Atlantic Coast. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Today's topic is the high cost of cheap in your medical practice, and I want to talk about that just a little bit this morning. We'll kind of keep this one short. As you can see, we're on the road again. so, um, but here's the thing is that if you are running a medical practice and you have aspirations of any kind of growth at all, let's say that your first or second year, it was just you, maybe somebody working on the front desk and a biller. But as time goes on, your popularity has grown and you've expanded. So in the beginning, it felt like you were doing okay if you had a bookkeeper that was basically categorizing the transactions that go through your bank account and your credit card and everything. And then you get yourself a tax preparer and put it all together into a tax return and file that. You might even still be doing a Schedule C and attaching a business income schedule to your 1040. So you only have one tax return to do. Well, there's a lot of help that we can give you with that. So let me go ahead and I am going to, I believe we can share by doing this. Um, so the high cost of cheap in your medical practice, you've got rapidly shifting situations. If you're thinking about growth at all, perhaps you're taking on an MA or even another physician or multiple physicians, technicians possibly. One of the things is you may be looking at getting um, in-office diagnostic equipment, and that comes with an expense. Certainly, I don't think you can touch an X-ray machine for under $60,000 to $100,000 anymore, for example. And there's a lot of different ways that you can treat that on your taxes. You may or may not be able to write it all off in the year you buy it, or you might want to stretch that out over a 5-year period with various different strategies. And there are a number of different things you can do to ensure you're paying the least amount of tax and therefore keeping as much of your own money as possible. Um, so let's go to what's next here. Sorry, I got to do that. There we go. So if you have been getting along with the bookkeeper and tax preparer situation, but you recognize the fact that you wish that you had more proactive information, or you wish that you had somebody that was actually suggesting things to you, or let's take that a step further, what I call what if scenario analysis. So let's say, for example, you want to buy that X-ray machine. Is now the time to do that? Will your gross revenues, less the staffing costs that you have, and all your other administrative costs support that? You can actually go into an area of accounting advisement that goes beyond the mere reporting of transactions and filing income taxes, um, that I refer to as micro forecasting. And that basically um, puts a period of time of your financial situation, let's say the profit and loss side. Now, profit and loss is simply the money that you take in minus the money that it costs to staff, and perhaps if you do actually make something that you sell. Um, Doubtful in most of the medical practices that I assist, but those two things subtract from gross revenue and create something called gross profit. Then you have all of your other expenses, advertising, your bank charges, possibly even vehicle, travel, education. Certainly, you're going to have continuing education expenses, and these things are all ordinary and necessary, and you should be writing them off. So, if you have all this stuff in a profit and loss scenario for a year, and then you have micro forecasting tools, you can actually look at what your profit and loss statement will look like 6 months, 12 months, even 36 months out. I've come up against um, the sort of resistance to this kind of assistance. Um, that sort of rhymes a little bit, but because of the expense of doing it, getting a business advisor, somebody that understands your entire holistic accounting situation, including your taxes, doesn't come necessarily cheaply, but the return on investment in this, the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, maybe even hundreds of thousands that you can make in the future by having a non-equity partner that understands your financials and your taxes is invaluable. So if you want to go from basically getting along, doing your services and filing your claims, and that's fine for you, perhaps that's great. But if you would like to actually build wealth, increase the size of your practice, and look forward to a future where you're able to retire, where you're still able to enjoy the money that you've put aside in retirement vehicles, um, while you're still relatively young, then you might want to actually consider um, the investment in what I would not to not to put this too in a conceited a fashion, but if you have high-powered business advisement that goes beyond the mere reporting of your numbers, um, there's no question that you can be actually making even six figures in additional money over the next several years, if not next um, shorter term. So um, the kinds of things that you can plug into micro forecasting that allow you to uh, time your business decisions um, include not only that asset acquisition, but of course staff recruitment. Staffing is always a thing. Do you want to mentor people? Do you actually volunteer at a higher institutional learning, or in fact actually uh, are a sitting professor at such, and with an eye on basically influencing the next generation of medical professionals. So um, also, it never hurts to do SWOT analysis, strengths, weakness. That is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And now that's kind of a harsh way to put that. Some businesses are considerably more competitive, but if you do the SW part of that, your strengths and your weaknesses, and kind of take a look at what your peer group and your contemporaries are doing, you can grow in leaps and bounds with the right kind of business advisement. And that's what I'm here to say this week is that basically, if you need help and you're not afraid to invest in your own future, um, the return on the investment that you will see from taking this fiscal path is extraordinary. So, with that, I just wanted to share that because it comes up from time to time. Sure, investing in yourself does cost money, but if you haven't noticed, everything's costing more. Even if you've tried to get something as simple done as pouring some concrete in the back of your house or putting some kind of outbuilding, things cost more than they did just 4 years ago. We had a lot of inflation because, let's face it, the government gave away a lot of money, and the Fed, which is not the government, but a bunch of high level bankers that basically set the interest rates and write bonds in exchange for um, printing more cash. You have more cash available, and what happens is that the cost of that cash goes up in the form of inflation. So we've seen that over the last several years. Things cost more now, but the thing is, you should too. And that's one of the biggest things in what if scenario analysis is taking a look at your billings and making sure that you are not only usual, customary, and reasonable, but charging exactly what you're worth. Because let's face it, your worth is invaluable. 10, 11 years of education plus residency. Um, why stop there? You could be moving into the future in the next 10, 20 years, basically empire building and retiring at a time when you can, again, still enjoy the finer things in life. And with that, I would like to wrap up by just saying that if you are looking for that kind of business advisement, here is basically what we call your call to action. Get a hold of me. We are on 3 different media platforms. You may be watching this on YouTube or Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. And we do this live every week, 8:30 Mountain Time. And any one of those vehicles have comments and reply sections. So please do write to us. Use the direct message. I know that LinkedIn and Facebook certainly both have that. Facebook calls theirs Messenger. Reach out and let's talk and see what we can do to help you grow your empire. So with that, have an amazing rest of your day, and of course, upcoming weekend. And if you do have a chance, do something randomly kind for a stranger. So with that, I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much,